Okay, so within the time I've spent here, I've got in a draft form now guidelines for the use of participatory video, especially in using indigenous agricultural knowledge. So, like I said at the first slide, I'm coming from the window of agricultural knowledge for agricultural knowledge and information systems for rural community. So this guideline is for the use of agricultural scientists and the farmers. And 4 reasons that I've got there is to recognize indigenous knowledge. They do recognize it in a lot of literature, that it is important, but I don't, at this point, I'm thinking, it's just my personal views, that not enough is done to make it to be part of the ARCIS RD network. So I wanted to see if through the use of participatory video, we can bring in the indigenous knowledge and scale it up so that it becomes recognized and used as much as we use the introduced knowledge through research. Involves people. It gives voice to the marginalized communities. These are very remote communities and literacy levels are very, very low. So because of lack of education and opportunities for education, people already feel disempowered. So having them to tell their own stories gives them the voice, involving people in decision making and simply empowering them. So the guide is used from development perspective. So now it's agricultural knowledge system. I'm now looking through the next sub window of development. How does this apply to development? So I'm looking at dialogue, using participatory video to create dialogue. Dialogue amongst farmers in remote rural communities, plus agricultural scientists. It could have NGOs, it could have market access, those responsible for market resources. So it's working together with farmers, the other stakeholders working together with farmers. And I'm drawing from adult learning, which is especially experiential learning, where people plan together, you do a lot of things together, but you take time out to reflect so that you can see what works, what didn't work. And you're working with these people, with the people in the community. You're not doing it for them, you're involving them. But participatory in this case is voluntary. If they want to participate to that extent of doing things with you, fine. But you respect their right. If they don't want to participate, fine. But experiential learning draws on what people know, and you work together with other people so that you come to a common understanding. So it's planning things, doing things together, reflecting on things, and planning again, and the cycle goes on. But I know the limitations of this because in a lot of rural communities, it's going to be a challenge. Because like I said, when I gave you the background to the community, there's no electricity. It's rural communities, very far from anything else. So there are limitations. But I am of the view that if there is enough interest to link the networks that involves the ARCIS triangle, research, which is probably universities, development organizations, agricultural research. If there is enough network amongst the stakeholders and we are willing to go that far as facilitating the process, working with the people, it can be possible. Right. Sustainability of this project. As I said, I would have to work on the networks between the different organizations within agricultural knowledge and information system. And thanks to my time here at the school, we'll be able to create a database where a lot of the videos that are going to be done, some that we have done and some yet to be done, will be up on there'll be a digital database for access to those videos. And for the community use, the database for digital videos will be mainly for the outside organizations, because the communities at the moment are not able to have that access. But there will be DVDs that they can use, farmer to farmer. And one of the things personally that I want to do is continue to have my research interest in agriculture, knowledge systems, but focusing on the use of indigenous knowledge and how to empower the farmer so the farmer can not only adapt technologies that are pushed out from the research stations, but it brings changes, some form of changes to the community and to the lives of the people. So it's more than technology, it's about improving the lifestyle of communities. Okay, so my post-Endeavour experience after today, this is my last day on the Endeavour Award. After today, I go back in September. We're going to be trialing out that guideline, and we'll see what the farmers are saying about it. It's doing although I've started the process without them, it's going back to them and trialing out the guideline and coming up with the final one only after their input. So it's been arranged in such a way that it's going to be a workshop, and the workshop will look at the agricultural knowledge, both within the community and that from outside organizations. People will be able to design messages. This will be both farmers and agricultural scientists working. They'll be designing messages. And while the verbal or the text messages are being designed, the drum will be part of the process from day one. So we will have the drum experts, because we're trying to preserve this indigenous knowledge in the form of this drum that sends indigenous media that sends messages. So while the text and verbal messages are being done, the drum messages will also be designed by the experts who know how to do that. And so this project will involve a lot of people. It involves farmers, it'll involve technical people who have knowledge about the video equipment. It's going to be involving ethnomusicologists who can be able to interpret the drum, the codes that the drum's sending out. And one thing I forgot to mention was that these Gara modes are context specific. So in Papua New Guinea, several provinces use the drum, but the drum that I'm looking at is very different from the drum of another community. So when they send a message, it's very different. It's only to their community members. So because it's local, specific to the community, we got to look at ways of getting it sent or distributed to other communities, upscaling it or outscaling to other communities. And we think that video I'm of the opinion that video can do that. At the moment, it's video that we're looking at. But there are possibilities of looking at probably telephones to encourage young people to come in to use or at least do something about this cultural value that the elders talked about, maybe telephones. But that is something for later use, or some of the students here might want to have a look at that.